Hey, it's Jesse with EMS. Today we're going to unbox our box that we got from Cobb for the 2021 Plus F-150s. So let's open it up and see what they've sent us here. I do know we have to send our ECU off for unlocking, so I'm betting they've sent us some nice stuff here for us to do that return shipping to them. As I suspected, yep, it seems like we got some nice foam here. Rich, help me. It's tight, you might need two people to help. All right, here we go, I got it. So, yeah, box. This says intake scoop bracket. And I believe, yeah, so this is a bracket that Cobb's figured out should go on the truck where the factory intake snorkel's at. They found that under load, that actually starts trying to close up. I think from beneath, it actually starts trying to suck up toward the hood, and it reduces the cross-sectional area of the intake inlet. And if you know anything about physics or engineering, when you reduce the cross-sectional area of a pipe, you reduce its mass airflow. So these brackets are something Cobb sent that they feel strongly enough about, apparently, that to put on the truck to try to keep that open so we can get a good tune. So we'll install that here in a second. Other than that, it would seem we got some box, sent us a nice bag from Uline to put the ECU into. So we'll put the ECU in this, the ECU down in this half. I believe we flip this over now and we ship it back. ECU in there with this, so the ECU can't move around. And then when we get everything back, we should have our AP in here. Also, we noticed that in Cobb's instructions, they say that the shipping label will be in the box. That wasn't the case for us. We were about to call them, but then we noticed that behind our original packing slip, it would seem that they added our overnight slip behind that. So check here, slit this open to get your overnight slip. Worst case, or unless it's not in here like Cobb instructs. But it would seem that's all we get in the box. So now let's move on to installing this, and then we'll pull our ECU, we'll get it bagged up, and we'll get this ship back off to Cobb. And once we get everything back, we'll kind of come back to this, probably another part of this video, and we'll talk about installing the ECU back on the truck and marrying our AP to the truck. And at that point, we could either flash some off-the-shelf tunes from Cobb, which we wouldn't recommend. We would recommend that you go get a custom tune from PD Tuning off our website, so Ryan can give you a proper tune for your F-150 and all of your mods. So before we start installation, let's go over the parts that came in our box. We have Cobb part number 8G4625 intake scoop bracket for the Ford F-150 and Raptor 2021 Plus. So in this box, it seems Cobb has given us two metal brackets. I believe this one goes on top so we can still see the Cobb insignia after installation. I believe this one goes under the middle piece, or the tray behind the grill. Then it looks like they've given us a couple of bolts and some kind of isolators here. I would imagine this right here probably goes there to replace the factory pop pieces. So as you can see, we have got our lower half of our bracket in place now, and we've ran into a small issue. It would seem the bolt holes here don't quite line up. Now, I don't know if that's just from variation from truck to truck or if this is something Cobb needs to fix in their design models, but it's remedied easy enough. We're just gonna take us a drill bit, run through this to open those holes up a little bit, then we'll get things mounted back up. You can see it was aluminum, drilled really easy. So also, per Cobb's recommendation, we're going to drill a couple of small holes right here on this plastic trim piece. And we're going to fix it with a zip tie to this under piece, this harder plastic. Apparently in Cobb's testing, and they have a video if you want to go check it out, but under load, the suction coming through the snorkel makes all of this stuff try to pick up, and that's part of what's closing off that cross-sectional area. So they have 3 recommendations. One is drilling a hole here, 2 holes, and zip tying, removing this piece altogether, or they have another Cobb piece in work, a sheet metal piece in works that they're going to sell soon. It looks really nice, so keep your eyes out for that too, if you don't want to drill or remove this. For all intents and purposes, I don't care a bit to drill 2 holes right here and put a zip tie on it, so that's what we're going to do until Cobb puts out their nice new piece. It's really soft material, really easy to drill. Got us 2 small holes here. We'll run zip ties through that, come down, we'll hook under this piece, back up through the hole and tighten it up. Now let's move on to the ECU removal. First, let's disconnect the negative terminal on our battery using a 10mm wrench. lay that off to the side to make sure we don't have any connection. Next, we'll remove the ECU plugs. On these plugs, you'll have a little button here you need to press. Then you'll pull back on the lever. It should snap off really easy. Again, press, pull, and one more, press, pull. So now we have all of our plugs out of the way. Next step, we need to remove this piece. So one of the most difficult parts of this whole process is removing this piece. Took us a little bit to do, and you know, in the previous video where he showed us removing this, it probably looked really easy, but that's after we had fought with it for quite some time. So now we're going to try to go back through this with the ECU still removed and kind of talk to you about how we went about removing this. So Ridge, he's going to take a flathead screwdriver. He's going to go through the square piece in the bottom right, and there's a clip. If you'll go straight in, and he's twisting it just to release it just a little bit, you can see the bottom let go. Now he's going to go in the top, same deal. Twist the screwdriver, let it go. We'll swap sides. So you can see he's going back, no, bottom left, back in the square. He's going straight in, then he's just giving it a rotation, and that's just to get the clips to free up a little bit. This isn't trivial. This is a pretty difficult part of the process. But as you can see, with enough diligence and enough patience, boom, out. So you can see, even us trying to walk you through it, it was a bit of a pain in the ass, but these clips, these are the difficult ones. Just go through the square with a flat blade screwdriver, go in, catch that clip, rotate, go in here, catch, rotate, same thing here. You just kind of gotta walk yourself around it. You might have to go back a couple of times, but eventually you'll get them all released, then this will pop off. Then you saw in the video, there's these white clips hold the ECU in. We press down on the top and release. We press down on the top and we release, and then we were able to slide the ECU out. So now we got our last step. We're going to bag and box up our ECU and get it ready to ship back to Cobb. So first step, we're going to get our bag out, open this up. We will place our ECU in here, in the bag, fold it over shut. Now, You can see the foam here has a cutout for the ECU connector plug, so we'll be sure to place it in there with the proper orientation. Now we have our ECU in the foam, plugs facing the front. We will take our second block of foam, which came like this. We're going to flip it over, put it that way so our ECU can't move around. And when we get this back, we should have a AP here. Now we'll just get our box taped back up, and we will put our new label from Cobb on the front, and we'll get this dropped off at our local UPS station. And this is an overnight label they send with you, so I'm hoping they get it, they do their thing tomorrow, and hopefully they overnight back. So today is Tuesday. Maybe, hopefully we got this back by Friday, and we can marry it to our truck and get a nice tune file from Ryan so we can start doing some cool stuff with these F-150s. Try to go a little faster in them like we've done with the 2.3 EcoBoosts. If you haven't ever checked out our EcoBoost Mustang, go give our page a follow on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, Engineered Motorsport Solutions. You can also check out our website, www.engineeredmotorsportsolutions.com. And you can keep up with what we're doing with the 2.3s, the V6s, and kind of just see where we take things. If you haven't heard of us or seen much about us, we currently hold a few world records with the 4-cylinder, and we're hoping to get into these 6-cylinders and see if we can do some cool stuff with them as well. All right, we got our ECU back from Cobb. We shipped it out on a Tuesday. We got it back on a Thursday, so super quick turnaround. So there should be a Cobb Accessport in here too. So let's cut the box open and let's check everything out before we get back to reinstalling everything into our F-150 and marrying the AP to this ECU. Here we go. There's the good stuff. So, take it apart. We got ECU came back still in its bag, or back in its bag. Wish I would have paid more attention before we shipped it out, just to see if they like put something on it to mark it. I feel like that wasn't there before, but very well could be. Y'all can look at your ECUs and just tell me in the comments like if yours had that sticker before or not. Other than that though, looks just like it did when we sent it. Now, the good stuff, our Cobb Accessport. And they left us a note in the box. Please be sure to update your AP. But let's look inside the Cobb box really quick too. Inside this, we get our carrying case for the Cobb Accessport. Inside of here, some brochures, papers, Accessport itself. We get a cable to transfer maps from the computer to our AP. Now that's going to be USB-A, so if you have only USB-C, you need to get an adapter of some sort. Then they give us a backing plate to hold our AP, and they give us a new face plate we can put on the front. I believe this one's a black one they've included. And then also, I believe, a couple of stickers in there as well. Then we got one more box, and in this box we should have the cable to go from the OBD2 port. So we have our cable for the OBD2 port to the Accessport, and they give us a little sticky mount if you want to stick it to your dash or something. I think we'll probably 3D print something to mount our AP in the truck with, something nice, or look and see if there's anything on the market maybe before we do that. But now we're ready to reinstall our ECU in the truck and get it buttoned back up. Then we'll go back to how to get your AP ready. Now that we have our ECU back installed, we just need to reconnect the negative terminal of our battery. Now let's connect our cable to the OBD2 port in our truck. Now we'll connect our Accessport to the cable, and we'll turn the key to power up the truck. See the Accessport screen's loading. Now we'll click the big button. Now we want to click, we have two options. We can install, or we can do some troubleshooting like reading engine codes and stuff, but we want to install. Ask us to confirm that our vehicle description here matches, and this is a 21 F-150 with a 3.5 liter. So these are some maps that came preloaded on the AP. We're going to ignore those. We want the good stuff, the PD tune from Ryan. It's just telling us that, you know, we need to make sure the battery's charged, or it could cause damage during the flash if the battery was dead. So continue. And now we wait while it's going to generate some ECU data, then it should start flashing our truck. All right, we're finishing up the flashing process right now. 100%. So now the AP should bring the truck back to life a little bit here and clear some codes and stuff for us. There we go. So now let's turn our key off for a few seconds. Wait a little bit. It says to wait 15 seconds. I usually sit here for just a few. I'm like, yeah, that's probably good. Now let's start it up. All right, we're up and running on Cobb, so let's see how things go, and let's get around some data logs and try to get some power out of this thing. We'll probably do a little bit of E50 stuff, and then then we'll probably throw some larger injectors in and try to go to fully 85. You'll be able to find the AP, Ryan's tuning prices and everything on our website, engineermotorsportsolutions.com. We're also going to be adding other small packages for the F-150s, like the E85 kits and stuff like that. So be sure to head on over there and check all this out. I hope this was helpful, guys.